This is Bob Delia, and we are pleased to have his 59 Impala here. It's a beautiful car and really is what Hot Wheels is all about, which is hot rods and muscle cars. And I'm going to turn over to Bob to explain the car because this thing is a work of art.
Well,
Thank you very much.
Bob, you're going to explain a little bit to us, kind of give us an idea of how you build a car like this and what you had to do it.
Sure. First of all, I'm Bob Delia, and I'm from Libertyville, Illinois, and the car is owned by my wife, Barb, and myself.
Oh, how
Hot Rod
exciting.
Auto Restoration in Schiller Park. Build a car. It's a combination of 5 professional people working on the car. For a period of 3 years straight, we work 5 days a week. We build a car with the intention of being a Riddler contender, and we really wanted to just get in the Great Eight. Well, our mission was accomplished. We did that. And towards the end, though, we had to put 6 and 7 days a week so we could make the schedule. Very similar to you see some of the TV programs where it's a last-minute type effort to make your schedule. The car itself, we're very proud of it. My wife named it So Big. She went in the garage when she first saw the car and she says, "My gosh, that car is so big." So I says, "There's the name." So the name of the car, as you can see on the license plate, So Big. It's all 16-gauge hand-formed metal inside the car, in the engine compartment. Underneath the car is completely belly pan with 16-gauge metal and smooth. We tried to cover every detail we could. As far as the mechanicals on the car, it's powered by a 540 cubic inch engine. I did all the mechanical work and built the engine. The horsepower was dynoed at 705 horsepower. And I have 2 25-pound nitrous oxide bottles in a sub-trunk, and when the switch is turned on, it delivers 1,000 horsepower to the rear wheels. The transmission is a 5-speed Gertag that I brought in from Germany out of a V12 BMW, and it has a Mosier rear end, Mosier axles with a 411 Positraction. Inland Empire driveline, and that makes up the driveline. It has Wellwood brakes, front and rear disc brakes on the car. And we have special one of Boyd Coddington's wheels. If you want to come around to the side here, I want to show you the trim and the wheels on the car. Now, George, if you notice the wheels, if you notice the teardrop design, we had those cut and made that way to match the teardrop cat eyes in the back of the 59 Chevrolet.
Is that out of a block of billet?
Yes, it is.
Good,
Boyd
great.
Coddington made those. On the side, I might say that this, at least as of this show, this is the only 59 Chevrolet in the world with a 56 Nomad station wagon two-tone scheme. And all of the chrome made here by Mark Klopack of Hot Rod Auto Restoration is handmade, and it's just a beautiful piece of art. And it's also, as many judges have said, it's a piece of really fine jewelry.
It looks like this molding is all made out of brass.
That's
though.
made out of brass.
Right,
We didn't
yeah.
use stainless. That's 1 inch wide, 1/2 inch thick brass, and we rounded it, formed it, and it's got a perfect body-hugging fit to all the contours of the body. We lifted all the body lines on the car. If you notice the rear quarter panel on a 59 Chevy, it comes rounded. We created this crease on the back of the body of the car. And of course, an important factor with the massive expansion of the rear of this car, we had to change the molecular structure of the metal to make it tighter so we didn't get that flipping action that exists with a wide piece of metal. You know, we do that by using, and George would know this very well, using heat, water, and air, and that strengthens and rearranges the molecular structure of the metal to make it firmer and keep it from buckling in and out. As far as the highlighted body lines, again, you see how we extended the body lines to a very sharp point, and that's a high point, but very classy of the rear of the car. The interior of the car, you see we went with the old Thunderbird design with the tonneau type effect behind the headrest. And again, I repeat, none of this is fiberglass. It's all 16-gauge hand-formed metal. But you see that how the back of the rear splash panel just merges right in with the headrest and also merges right with the waterfall console from the back to the front of the car. My wife designed the interior design in the car. It's composed of handmade, or I should say glove-soft Italian leather and suede. And we've got autometer gauges, a one-of Colorado custom billet steering wheel, and we're very proud of the car. The last thing are the colors.
Whose paint did you use?
We use PPG.
PBG, that's terrific because we use from the original distillate the PBG. That gives you the finish and the gloss.
Oh, George, there's my wife, Barb. She's the other half owner of So Big. Barb?
Barb,
Hi, George.
I got to thank you because, as I was mentioning to him, without the support of your other mates, like my wife Shirley, we would both never make it because we enjoy the fact that we do it like we all say, We might be two, but we always do it as one.
That's right.
And it's very important.
Right.
George, thank you.
That's the way it is right there. Good.
Thank you, George. Let me show you a couple details on the interior of the car. One important function is the emergency brake. What we did here, I didn't want any cluster or anything hanging down. As you notice underneath the dashboard, it's completely paneled, so we get a smooth effect under the dashboard. So we put the emergency brake right next to the driver's seat. I didn't want it in the console. That seemed to be a conventional location. We didn't want it underneath. And Mark Klopack, the builder of the car from Hot Rod Auto Restoration, had this idea of putting it here, so that's where it is. As far as some of the other special items, as I mentioned earlier, this is a one-of-a-kind Colorado custom billet steering wheel, and the design was intended to kind of match with these two fins on both sides, to kind of match the two fins of the back of the car. We're using autometer gauges, a little different tilt here. We put the tachometer in the middle. I'm an old drag race guy from many years back, and that's important because we always drove by the tach, as you know. So I wanted the tach where I could see it, and the 200-mile-an-hour speedometer is down on the console right in front of the 5-speed Gertach shift lever. Looking at the dashboard, you notice it's very smooth and very clean. No radio opening, no heater controls, no speaker. All the controls for the car are located in the ashtray and in the glove compartment. And one last item in this interior, and that is, if you look at the sides of the doors, all you see is the custom-made door handles. No cranks for the windows, no power window controls. Again, they're all hidden inside the dashboard to give us a very smooth effect in the car. And here's the builder of the car.
Hi, I'm Mark Klopack. I'm the builder, designer, and painter of SoBig. I own Hot Rod Auto Body in Schiller Park, Illinois, and a few other items on the car in the interior that Bob, I don't think, actually showed you, which I'd like to show you now, is as far as theme-wise. A couple things we like to do is we wanted to keep the 50s theme, and we also like to, maybe if it was possible, take an original part off of one part of the car and adapt it to another part of the car. And in '59, they gave you a chrome molding that separated the dashboard in the middle, and what we tried to do was we incorporated the top of the fenders moldings. When we shaved the fenders on top, we got rid of the molding, got rid of the bird on top. We took that molding and we incorporated it into the center console, and we also incorporated it into the door panels to give you a symmetry, and also to give you an even with the dashboard. If you notice, we lined the chrome moldings up on the door with the chrome on the dashboard, and that gives you a little bit of symmetry, a little bit of balance, and also provides the car paint a top material on the bottom. So that was one special feature. Besides the center console and the back tonneau cover, the back tonneau cover, if you remember the 66 and 67 Ford Thunderbirds, the convertibles, they used to have a very long, slopey tonneau cover, even though we didn't have the same room, but we tried to use ideas from different cars, different makes and models. All the interiors made out of steel, no fiberglass. That was all hand rolled and pulled and hammered and dollied. As we like to say in our business, steel is real. So that's one other special feature. Anything else to add, Bob?
No, I think we covered it quite well. We're very pleased with the performance of the car. We're very pleased with the acceptance. But there is a question that's asked me frequently, and I think I should mention, why did you build a car? What's the reason? Of course, the first reason I built it for my wife, Barb, and myself, because in my junior year in high school, my first car was a '59 Chevrolet. The second reason I built it, I wanted to go back in a period of automotive history where we built a car at that time that represented the design artists' feelings, where they went crazy wild with fins and chrome. And it's a period in automotive history that's gone forever. I mean, it's a time that it's never going to come back in our era, and I wanted to kind of cherish that and kind of capsulize it in this particular car. And the last reason, and the most important reason, and that is the shows that we've showed the car. I have people repeatedly coming up saying they've been here 5 and 6 times looking at the car, that they get goose pimples and chills when they look at the car. And I look into their eyes, and I feel so strong that I've accomplished what I wanted to do, and that is to, a lot of these people either don't have the financial wherewithal or the mechanical ability to build or create a car like this, and in their eyes I'm fulfilling their dreams, and I think that's what the automotive sport is all about. And I think someone as professional as George Barris has been doing that all his life, and I think that highlights the sport that we're in, automobiles. Well, first of all, in answer to your question, how I picked Mark as a builder, I formerly, before I got into building this big car so big, I was in street rods, and I've been doing this for a lot of years. I don't want to date myself, so we'll let that go unmentioned. But at the shows, years and years back, I saw Mark, I saw his dad, and we visited, and I told him I was thinking of building a Riddler contender car, and we visited, and we got closer and closer together, and the relationship, we just bonded. It just felt good. And again, an important factor when I was considering cars to be built for as a Riddler Grade 8 contender, there were at least 3 cars narrowed down that I was going to choose, and one of them was a '59 Chevrolet. Unbeknown to Mark that I had decided on that, a couple weeks after I decided, he had called me and he says, you know, I've been thinking. He says, I have a car in mind that I think is different. And I said, what kind of car is that? He says, a '59 Chevy 2-door Impala. Well, I about, when I was talking to him on the phone, fell off my chair. So who said that, you know, there are no coincidences. Things happen for a reason, and it was a good reason. That's how So Big was created.
Congratulations, Bob.
Congratulations to you, and thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Bob.